You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
What's going on, AfterBuzzers? Welcome to How to Be a Host. I'm your host, Olivia Gabaree, aka The Real OG, and tonight I have Chance in the studio. Thank you for joining me tonight.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here. I'm a big fan of the show, and just thank you for having me.
So I've been watching you for a long time, and I figured that you'd be a perfect candidate because you're obviously a working host out there in the field. Outside of AfterBuzz, you do many things. You do some carpets for Baller Alert. You have your own platform on YouTube doing like public speaking, motivational speaking, and what I just learned is you also teach a master class for hosting.
Yes.
Do you feel like, what's your favorite out of all the things that you do? Do you have a favorite?
I don't necessarily have a favorite, but what I do enjoy and what I find myself just enjoying more nowadays is teaching. Through my master class, I teach a master class for aspiring TV hosts, and I believe as you teach, the more you can grow and the more you develop, and I think it's really good to teach. So if you have a talent, if you have a skill, share it with the world. So it's just me sharing what I already love to do, which is hosting.
So when you're teaching these students, is there one thing that you find is so common amongst them all that they need? Like, what is the most common thing that you need to enforce in them?
I think the most common theme, or really I think just idea, is just do it. Like Nike, you just have to do it. So many times we wait for the perfect moment to, move forward and start the blog or start the TV show, but you just have to dive in because time, is against you. It's not your friend. You know what I mean? So I teach my students how to use their time effectively and how to build and use exactly what they have in their hands already. How to, start your show and build a set on a budget. You don't have much money, but you have this idea for this show. I teach you how to do it with just a little bit of money and just the resources that you have. And now they're thriving and blossoming, and it's just really wonderful to watch.
I think that's something that is so important as a host, and that's something we learn here at AfterBuzz too, right? Is like, if you don't have the opportunity, you almost have to create the opportunity for yourself. And there's so many platforms out there now, like, it actually is possible, right? Yes,
it's so possible. I teach my masterclass students how to, be a TV host, but also how to be an entrepreneur and how to make money and really, get the lemonade out of the lemon. Sometimes I have, I'm from Chicago.
Yeah.
So, but sometimes I have like this southern kind of drawl thing. So I try to, correct it as I talk, and then I end up tripping over my words. But yeah, so I teach them how to be an entrepreneur, how to make money off of what they already are doing, because in the beginning, when you're starting in the industry, whether you're a TV host or an actor, you may not get paid that much money.
Right.
It's just the beginning. So it's like, how can I survive off of my dream? So I teach people how to do that.
Okay, so in speaking of creating your own opportunity, I've watched some of your YouTube videos, right? So do you feel like you have a passion for, like, what makes you want to motivate people through your content?
Yes, well, I grew up in Chicago, and growing up in Chicago, I had a wonderful childhood for the most part, but I also faced many challenges. I grew up without my mother. When I was 8 years old, my mother had a stroke, and after that stroke, she was pronounced brain dead. So I was a young girl growing up without a mom, trying to find my way, trying to become a woman and be ladylike, you know what I mean? So I had to learn all those things, and I think it just prepared me for where I was going. And so from there, I went to George Washington University for college, and I studied journalism and mass communication there. And I did a ton of internships. I literally interned almost every semester.
Yeah.
So I work with, affiliate of the CBS, of CBS News, the CW television network, different radio stations, different blog sites, and I got as much experience as I could. And then from there, I went on, and actually I began my career as a news reporter. Okay. And then I relocated to Los Angeles and just started to expand myself and my brand and explore other options.
Yeah. So you've had a background in news, and now obviously you've experienced some of the entertainment, hosting type of stuff. What do you think is like the biggest difference between the two? Or do you have to have a certain skill to do one rather than the other?
Well, I would say, it's a lot more of a disciplined kind of sport when it comes to news, because I started off in news, and I remember one of my first jobs, I was working as a news reporter for a radio station actually, and I was up at 3 a.m. and I was doing like the news from like 6 a.m. to 12 noon for like a really, really long time. But I remember going on there and doing the news and not really feeling fulfilled in that particular job. And then also I remember them telling me, like, Chance, you have too much personality. You have to wheel it in. You have to bring it back. It was too much. It was too much because it was, like I said, very disciplined. It's the news, you know, it's the traffic. So I tried my best to wheel it in, you know.
It's like, how do you have less personality? Gosh.
Yeah, I guess it was just too much, but it showed me, it gave me the evidence that I'm called to be more than just a news reporter.
Exactly.
I'm called to be a TV host, where I can have all the personality and have fun and just be myself. Yeah.
So I saw your reel and how you do red carpet for Baller Alert and things like that, and I mean, I feel like everyone in our generation knows what Baller Alert is, including all the people that walk the carpet, but it is known as sort of like a tabloidy, like break the news type of outlet. So being a reporter for them and approaching celebrities on the carpet, do you feel like they approach you differently? Like, how do you handle things like that?
Surprisingly, everyone loves Baller Alert. So when I go on the carpets, people are actually running up to me trying to get an interview. Like,
really?
It's never been like that. I've worked with different media outlets on the carpet, and they just scout me out. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, recently I did an interview with Ayanla Van Zant from OWN. She has a show on OWN Network called Fix My Life, and I was brought in for an interview through Baller Alert, and she was like, I requested you. I requested Baller Alert because I saw you. I met her earlier before, and I wanted to do a one-on-one interview. So I had an opportunity to sit down with her on the OWN, one of the talk show sets at OWN, and do this really cool one-on-one. So I teach my students this also in my master class, to just talk about what you're saying, because I'm so glad that you brought that up. I teach my students how to label the labels and not let the labels label them. So it doesn't matter what opportunity I have, it doesn't matter what network I work with, I don't let those labels label me. I label those labels. And when you're in control of the narrative that you want to communicate to the world, you want to share to the world, you'll always be in a position of power and authority. So, I mean, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me.
Really?
Yeah.
So how do you go about doing that? Like, is there a certain way that you form your questions in order to, you know, get a different outcome?
No, I think it's just about who you are. It's about your essence. It's about your presence. It's about your energy and your spirit, because people connect to that. Because sometimes, you know, someone can be talking to me and they forget where I work. They forget everything, but they're in tune with who they are currently engaging with and how they feel and how they feel inspired in that moment. So I think it all works together for my good.
Oh, you're right. I can see it. See, like you said, you know, it's your personality.
It's just who you are. You don't have to try. You just have to be. And I'm learning that the older I get.
So was there a specific situation that made you understand that? Like, had you ever had a more, I don't want to say negative experience on the carpet, but has there ever been a time where it was particularly difficult to interview somebody?
Well, I remember one time, this was several years ago, when I was in school in George Washington University, at George Washington University. I was in D.C., I was covering a carpet, and there was this woman. She's legendary, I'll just say that, I won't say her name. Beautiful woman. And I proceeded to ask her a certain question, and she just went mute on me. She went mute, and you know, I had the microphone, and she was just like,
because she didn't like your question, or
but
what?
It was a really basic question, though. So
Really?
I'm like, was it the question or was it just me? And she just sat there in silence, and everyone was looking, and it was awkward for me. And I'm like, well, how do I, you know, what do I do? And I was in college, I was young.
Yeah.
So eventually, I got the hint, and I just moved on to the next question. But it was really kind of like, you know, it was different for me.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's like you always have to think on your toes, because
You
the
have to
camera's
think on your
rolling,
toes.
and you're like, how do I keep on going?
Yeah.
So all you did was just move on to the next question?
Yeah, I just moved on to the next question. You just have to be professional.
Yeah.
You know, keep a good smile on your face and just stay in it.
You didn't acknowledge the fact that she just completely...
No, I didn't. I just said, okay, well, the next question is, you know, and I just...
And did she answer the next question?
She did. She
That's
answered
strange.
the next question, which was so funny.
She must not have liked that question.
She must, but it was, I forgot what it was,
Whatever.
but it was a really basic question. But you just never know. Different personalities.
Exactly.
Everyone has their own personality. You just have to be able to work with those people.
You never know what you're gonna get.
You never know what you're gonna get.
So something that you introduced me to, we were just like speaking a little before we got on camera, was the NBC program,
Yes,
right?
yes.
That you're starting tomorrow.
I am starting
What is
tomorrow.
the NBC program? I've come across it on the internet a little
Yes.
bit, but I've never met anybody that actually was in it or starting it.
Yes, so a couple of months ago, I heard about the program. A couple of people reached out to me. It's NBC and ABFF. They do this national search for the next big TV host to, bring into their program and develop them as a talent. So at first I wasn't going to submit because I'm like, I already got opportunities. Like, I don't have to do it.
Yeah.
But maybe about 2 days before the deadline, a good friend was like, why don't you just do it? Just do the self-tape and just send it in. Like, what's the worst that can happen? So I sent it in, and about a week later, they gave me a call, or email, and they said I had gotten to the program. It was a national search, so they looked literally everywhere. Anywhere you were, you can submit for that opportunity. So it was really an honor and a privilege, and I'm so humbled to have been selected. So I start the program tomorrow, and we'll just see where it goes. It's not like a guaranteed show, but it's just a development program within NBC, and we just see what happens from there.
That's amazing. What does it entail? Like, is it classes, or is it just like a series of auditions? I don't really know what it involves.
They've kind of been a little low-key with it.
Really?
So, yeah. But I'm sure it's some kind of, it's a talent development program.
Okay.
So it's a 3-day intensive program.
Oh, okay.
So we'll be doing all different kinds of things. So when I'm done, I'll come back and
Yeah,
I'll let you know
let
the
me
secrets.
know. Give me
I'll
the
let you know how it went down.
So as a person who, I mean, you're a teacher as well as a working host, self-tapes are very common within the industry. So do you have any tips or advice on, I mean, obviously yours was good enough if, you got in right away, right? So give me some advice.
Yeah, I'll give you some advice because I always get this question. So for me, what I do is at home, I have seamless backdrop paper.
Okay.
And I put that backdrop paper on my wall. It always stays there. I never move it. And I have it specifically fixed against the window so the natural light can come through the window if I'm filming during the day.
Good idea.
So with that, I take my cell phone. This is what I teach my students. Use what you have. If you don't have a big fancy camera, take your iPhone. So I take my iPhone. I set it up on my tripod. I have the seamless backdrop paper in gray, white, just really clean, neutral color so I can film my audition so they can just focus on me without any distractions in the background. And I film it, and then I upload it straight from my phone.
Okay. And is there any editing involved? Or?
Yeah, I just use the iMovie app on my iPhone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it
and it's done.
like, they don't frown upon editing, do they? Like,
no.
can you edit it?
No, they don't frown upon
Okay.
it. But you don't want to have too much like cuts and edits between. So for that one, I went all the way through. So try your best if you can, if you have a script or lines, to memorize everything all the way through and just give it your best and bring that personality, bring your spunk, bring everything that's you, and you will always win.
Do you feel like your students have a common question that they always ask you?
I think a lot of people just don't know where to get started.
Yeah.
They just don't know where to get started. And because I have a news background, I got started in news. But even prior to me being started in news, I actually started hosting my first TV show when I was 15 years old.
What?
I know, I was so young. I got an opportunity to host a teen show happening in my hometown that was produced and filmed in my hometown.
Wow.
And that's where I began my journey. I didn't know anything. I just went, and next thing you know, auditioned, and I was on the show and did several episodes of that. And I went on to college to continue my career, and I've just been building ever since.
That's so cool.
So yeah.
Can you go back and watch? Like, do you ever go back and watch?
You know what? I don't have the tapes.
What? I feel like I want to go watch that all the time.
I know. I don't have the tapes.
Well,
it was unfortunate.
We gotta find those if somebody out there knows. But so, I mean, aside from hosting, you have a book as well, right? You wrote a book.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Tell me about it.
Yes, I have a new book coming out. It's my first book, actually, so I'm very excited about it because it is a labor of love. It's called Destiny Unstoppable: How to Be Fearless in Pursuit of Your Destiny. And this book is for this next generation of game changers. It's for this next generation of people that aren't afraid to go against the norm, to take the risk, to walk on water, and do the things that scare them, to meet on the other side an opportunity and of just life more abundantly, of prosperity, of joy, where you're just in a place where you're really fulfilled. So it's basically, how do I get from where I am today to this place of where I see myself? So it's very dynamic, and I am looking forward to it. It comes out this summer, so you can see that.
I feel like that's right up my alley. I love books like that that are just like inspiring and really, you know, push you to pursue everything that you want to pursue. So when it does come out in the summer, where can we buy it? Is it on Amazon?
Yes, so when this book comes out, it'll come out this summer. It'll be on Amazon. It'll be in Barnes & Noble. It will be in select bookstores, you know, across the United States. So yeah, and then I'll be traveling and doing a summer book tour, a summer/fall book tour. But one thing that I'm doing that everyone can get connected with is, through the book, I'm doing a campaign called Unstoppable Stories.
Okay.
And this is basically where people, social media, you know, whoever it is, can get involved and share their story on how they overcame some of the craziest things and why it made them unstoppable.
Wow.
So we've had stories already from maybe a woman that was raped, you know, and how she overcame a past of abuse, and now she's in a place where she's thriving and she's successful in her career. Or it could be just something fun, like I jumped out of a plane and I went, what is it called when you jump out of skydiving?
Yeah.
And I, you know, overcame my fear. Those are all unstoppable stories. So people can submit those at destinyunstablepromo@gmail.com.
Okay. And then once they submit them, where do they live? Do you put them on social media, or is it a part of your website?
Yeah, so it'll be an opportunity, of course, for it to be shared on social media, also on the website. But we will be taking select people with those stories, and I'll be bringing them on stage with me in the different cities that I travel.
On the book tour.
Yeah, on the tour.
Great.
So I'll be randomly picking people out. You know?
I love that. It's not only is it motivational, but, you know, it lets people know that they're not alone. And, you know, because sometimes it's easy to feel like you're the only one. And but
yes.
there's a way out, and there's people just like you.
Out. And I believe it's so much power in being transparent. And I try my best to live a transparent and honest life, because it's just better that way. You know, to live in a secret life and you gotta lie and sneak and cheat around. It's too much stress, okay? It's too much stress.
It is. Oh my gosh, it is. Well, I've been inspired by you. I've learned a lot from you, and I can't wait until the book comes out. But for those who are wondering about your class, how can they find it? Where can they sign up?
Yes, so you can sign up on my website at www.itsbychance.com. So ITSBYCHANCE. I have that class, and then I just launched a Girl Boss Boot Camp, which I am excited about.
That sounds like my kind of thing
Girl
too.
Boss Boot Camp, because I told you I talk about TV hosting and entrepreneurship in that class, but then I have another course that's just for entrepreneurship. So you can see all that at itsbychance.com.
And then is this an online course, or do people have to physically be
it's an online course. So as long as you have a computer and a little bit of internet, you can get in the class and just experience a life changed forever. Like, these are game-changing courses. Anything I touch, if it's not going to change the game, if it's not going to shake some stuff up, if it's not going to challenge you, if it's not going to push you, I don't want to be a part of it. So you'll see that reflection in everything really that I do. Everything that I touch, from books to hosting shows, all those things.
And your social media, where can everybody find you on social media?
Yes, you can find me at Chance Cessna, so CHANCE, CESSNA, like the plane. Cessna is the plane. We're flying. We're flying high.
I see.
At Chance Cessna on Instagram, Facebook, all those places.
Amazing. And again, like always, I'm your host, Olivia Gabaree. You guys can find me at @real_O_G, and I will catch you guys next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.